Hi everyone, in today's video up here in my best yard here, I brought these colonies up here about a month ago. They all had queen cells in them. I wanted them to breed with the drones in this yard because they produce so good. About 2 weeks ago I was up here. I did shoot some footage. I about posted that video, and only one of these four at that time had successfully taken, so I elected to give them a couple more weeks. So the one right there in the middle was the only one that had eggs at that time. So I decided to wait a couple more weeks, come back, check again, and that's what I'm about to do. But anyway, we're going to take a minute and check these out and see if they happen to be queen right. If not, I want to take them home and divvy out the resources for something further in the future. All right, let's give a smoker. We'll get started. This colony here was one I caught a month ago in the process of superseding, and I wanted to let that new queen mate with these drones here. So like I say, 2 weeks ago it was queenless. Wow, there's a lot of bees here now. I hope this is a good sign. There is a lot of bees in here. Look at all that. Look at all that honey. This is almost a mess. This is a mess. It may still be queenless, but for this kind of production, I would really be surprised if it is queenless. Oh man. And that frame's heavy. There is a ton of bees in here. Well, I've made a little room there, but I damaged the outside comb a little bit with this right here. I'll try to remove that and not do no more as I take it back in. This is absolutely full of honey right here. So is that frame. Man, I hope there's a queen in here. Come on. This was a foundation, and it's all honey. This is all honey and pollen. Well, it ain't looking good. This one's probably going to be queenless. But if it is, I'm just amazed at what a tremendous amount of honey it's made. I left my flashlight at home. I'm going to step out here and see what we got. There's actually brood in here. Plenty of brood right there in the milk stage. Plenty of nutrition. The question is going to be at this point, is it laying worker brood or do I have a queen? And I honestly don't know the answer to that. The cells have not been modified for drones, so hopefully that's a good indication. I would feel a lot better if I could actually see the queen. Okay, I see larvae of all stages in this frame, plus eggs, and they're all laid perfectly. In the center, there's one egg per cell. But I don't see the queen, and at this point I'm not going any further, and what I'm going to do is put this back together and I'll take it home, and I'm going to swap some frames out and give this queen some room to lay, assuming we got one in here. But I've not seen her. Of course, she will be a very dark queen because she was made from a pure Carleolian colony, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking for her. So I'm just going to get this back together. So that's really interesting, and this has happened to me in the past. I mean, it's been, I don't know the exact date when I brought them up here, but I know it's been at least a month, maybe a month and a week. But yet, based on the age of that larva right there, that queen started laying about 7 or 8, maybe 9 days ago. So that means at least 3 weeks after I brought them up here, and the cells in here was capped already. So I don't know why it took her so long to get going, but it does happen from time to time. And that's one reason I decided to go ahead, and I had nothing really to lose. I decided to go ahead and leave them up here a little bit longer. And by the way, you see comb like this and this kind of mess on top of your inner cover, you're way late. Which I'm not trying to get honey off of this particular colony. These are colonies I'm hoping to have for next year. So while I'm taking a minute here to let those bees try to run down where I can get the tops back on it, I'm going to take this home and probably take about 5 of those frames of honey out and put empty. I still got some empty drone deep frames, and I'll replace them with that and give that queen an opportunity to expand and grow. Because that, she clearly has almost nowhere left to lay, because this colony is just practically honey bound, and it definitely has plenty of bees. So we're about 92 degrees today right now, so I'm going to leave this colony right here in the shade while I check these other ones, and once I complete the checking, and I'll load. I'm going to take all these colonies home right now. I'll wait till the last minute and load them up, so that'll minimize their exposure to the hot sun. Well, I notice they seem to be calm. They're not running. Typically, the bees will start running and fidgeting around if they're queenless. They'll be kind of stressed out. They're not really roaring up when I smoke them, so hopefully that's a good indication. We're fixing to find out for sure, though, when I get this frame out. This frame here is totally honey bound, and the outside of this next frame is. There's definitely no brood there on the outside of that frame, but the inside of this one shows a little promise, so I want to take it out. There's no word for the queen to lay if there was one. And that one is bee bread and honey is all that's in that inside. All I've seen is nectar in here. I'm going to step out here to make sure. Yeah, there's nothing but nectar and no cells. Amazing how calm. Well, they're starting to roar up now. I guess they took a little time to get going. Definitely queenless. And one of my bee production colonies at home is really weak, and I'll combine this with them. They was in the process of superseding their queen a couple of weeks ago, and if she was successful in returning, I will combine this with them, because they do need a population boost, and they need resources. They're lacking on resources too. So I'll skip the one in a moment for right now. So that's the next one that didn't have a queen 2 weeks ago, or it didn't have any larvae or brood 2 weeks ago. So we're going to see if it does today. And I don't think it is. There's almost no activity at the entrance. Well, it shows you what I know. There's all kinds of larvae in here. So that means within a couple of days after my last visit, these queens started laying. So that means 3 out of 4 of these, 75% take on this, so I'm happy with that. So you can't always judge a colony by what you see at the entrance, that's for sure, and I just showed you an example of that. So this colony appears to be queen right, so that's good. All right, there we have it. The task is complete. I've rechecked these boxes. I checked them about 2.5 weeks ago, I think, and it was about 2.5 weeks after I brought them up here when I initially checked them, and at that time only the one with the brick on it in the middle there was appearing to be queen right, and I had nothing to lose. I elected to wait a couple weeks, and I've learned this kind of the hard way in the past, to give them a little more time, because I went and bought queens and then bring them to install them, and then all of a sudden there's larvae in there. This has worked out for me again today. So only this one right here remains queenless, and I'll divvy those resources up, and I'm fixing to load these up and take them home. What I'll do with those is I've got plenty of nuke boxes. I'll go ahead and put 5 frames on top of it. I'll probably put a frame or 2 of foundation and a mixture of drawn cone depending on what I have left, and I'll let them fill that up, and then they'll be able to draw those out quicker and fill those up quicker in that configuration, and then I'll move them to a 10 frame box and pretty much get them ready for the fall and winter. I will not try to get any honey off of any of these this year. It's really too late. We've only got 2 to 3 weeks of nectar flow left, and it's trickling down a lot, so I'm not going to try to do that. I'm going to get these ready for next year. Well, anyway, I'm fixing to take and load these up, so I appreciate you for joining me for this video today. Never stop learning, and we'll catch you on the next one.